everybody. Welcome to the Rememorex Not a Test podcast's Q&A. You guys had questions for us. We had some questions for each other. We're going to answer those questions, and hopefully it'll be entertaining. Let's all introduce ourselves and say who we play. I will say a name, and then you will... Wait, no, that's stupid. How about this? Why don't we go from left to right, from where Joey is, and then we'll like zigzag across. So like from Joey to me, then down to, well, I guess down to Harold, and then
your view isn't the same because I'm next to Joey. You're next to me.
That's what I'm saying. Joey, Gia, Casey,
Joey.
Then down to Harold, Ralph, and Sean, and then Dave can explain who he is. It's going to be a whole explanation. Nobody knows.
Yourself.
Oh, here's the story. Who are
Everyone
you? Podcast called.
Everyone else gets to
No, we're not doing it like that.
Test. Here we go. All right.
No, we're not doing the Brady Bunch again. We did that. It wasn't good.
All right, wait, quick timeout, guys, because we're going to be talking over each other this whole time. So if you feel like you got to say something, just put a hand up so that we can, like, by consensus know that someone's coming, because otherwise this is going to be unlisten-toable.
That's true.
That's fair. Well,
and I'm Ralph. I play Lyle Frankenstein.
All right, we'll start there.
I'm Joey. I play Raider Hansen.
I'm Gia. I play Donna Maitland.
I'm Casey. I play Maddie Ramus.
I'm Ralph, and I play Lyle Frankenstein.
You had to do it twice just to mess me up. I'm Harold, and I play Charles Eisley O'Keefe.
I'm Ralph, and I play Lyle Frankenstein.
I'm Joey, and I play Raider Hansen.
I'm Harold, and I play Charles Eisley O'Keefe.
I'm G, and I play Donna Maitland.
I'm Joey, and I play Casey Edison.
I'm Lyle Frankenstein, and I play Sean Jaffe. Weird bit, you guys.
All right, so we got a new voice here. Who's that?
Hey, my name is David Groveman. I'll be appearing at some point in season 2. But in the meantime, since I'm not in season 1, I'm the ideal person to ask people questions about season 1 to get insights into everyone's characters. So is everyone ready to jump in to these soul-searching questions?
Yes.
Good.
I hope the first one's
We should know we were going to ask them.
I like how Casey asked everyone to introduce themselves and then demanded that Dave explain himself.
What have you done, sir?
It's fair. First question of the night is actually for two of you. There was a sidebar in one of the episodes in which one of the two acting Quaid brothers was referred to as the inferior Quaid brother. Casey and Gia, who is the superior Quaid brother?
All right, that's tricky.
The world is watching.
Because Dennis, classically, is the superior Quaid brother. He's better actor, more handsome, all of those sorts of things. But Randy not only is the more Quaid of the two Quaid brothers, but he has done, like, fucking Dennis Quaid is doing, like, insurance commercials or some horseshit now. Like, Randy Quaid went full Quaid and is, like, a maniac. I feel like he's proven himself as the superior Quaid. I don't honestly remember us talking about this on the show or what I said then, but my statement now, Randy Quaid is the superior Quaid brother.
Casey, do you have an argument?
I don't know. I think I used to think Randy Quaid was the superior Quaid, but he's been kind of insane, like Gia said. So I think I'm flipping the script on what my original thought was, and I'm going to say Dennis is the superior Quaid brother because of the two of them. I mean, he's like the one that's still acting, and he isn't a complete nut job.
But this is what I'm saying. Like he's acting, and then he's like in insurance commercials. He doesn't really like Dennis Quaid anymore. Like, when was the last time it was like, oh, Dennis Quaid's in a movie? Like,
Frequency.
I mean,
Not even come out.
he's Tuck Pendleton. He is Tuck Pendleton, and he will always be Tuck Pendleton in my heart.
Look.
But, you know.
All right. Again, as the GM here, I have to say Tuck Pendleton, in my opinion, is an 80s hero up there with, like, Doc Brown or Snake Plissken. He deserves nothing but respect.
It's true.
Okay, so Sean stepping in to end the hostility between the people. In
I
this
don't know.
Which one was in The Mummy
Yes.
with the airplane? When the aliens? I'm thinking of Independence Day.
You're thinking of
That-
I was going to say Harrison Ford.
Independence Day is not dissimilar to the Mummy. Randy Quaid.
one of us.
Randy Quaid. You know what? Randy Quaid. Because Randy Quaid was in two of the weirdest movies of all time. So
Oh, more than that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'm assuming you're talking about Wraith and Freaked.
absolutely, yes.
All right, moving on from the Quaid brothers. Sean Jaffe.
Oh,
Of
a me
all
question.
the overt conspiracies you've had in game, I think I've detected a previously unspoken conspiracy. All the adult women NPCs in the game seem to belong to a strict sisterhood of Daniel Steele fanship. Is this part of a greater adult contemporary conspiracy for the Department of American Dignity, or is Daniel Steele going to kill us all?
So let me answer that question in two parts.
For those of you who are listening to this in audio form, Sean Jaffe just got up and ran away.
He strayed so fast.
I'm never going to understand what you people are talking about.
He only came back to Coca-Cola.
Monopolist.
So they're on to me.
I think that's the
have it on
I
tape.
just threw this picture.
It's a butt. It's great.
Does it have a
more than
comically
a butt.
erect penis there as
Yeah,
well?
there's a boner going on. All of nature's treasures.
Rowboaters.
Sean's clearly not comfortable sharing insight into some inner game mechanics there. Doesn't want to reveal things to players, so I understand that. We'll move on. Gia. Jenniferica. Jenniferica is the name of your D&D character.
Yes, it is.
What is her
Not
class
Donna's.
level, and what can you tell us about her character?
All right, so Jenniferica, if memory serves, she was only brought up once, and I wrote down a couple of things about her. She was an elf sorceress. I was planning on calculating, like, at the point when she was brought up, how long she would have been playing and what her current stats would be, but I forgot to do that. So, Jenniferica is probably very noble and probably what rides a horse or is drawn a lot riding a horse. And
Horse or unicorn?
unicorn. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say unicorn. Unicorn probably. But yeah, I don't play enough D&D to be able to like come up with this shit off the top of my head. So, but yeah, she's.
Oh
my God.
I'm outing myself.
I do have a follow-up question, though.
Okay.
How do you
Right.
spell
Ralph
her
has a follow-up question.
I have an interruption. We need to do a podcast that's an in-game D&D session with our characters.
Yes.
Yes.
I would do that.
Do that.
I'll totally DM it. Like Lyle will DM if no one else
Yeah, I
wants
want
to.
that.
That's
I
fine.
want that.
I'm cool.
Oh, wait,
That
does
means
that
that
mean
you
that
get
Sean
the-
can be Zach?
Yeah.
Or
Totally play that.
Wonderful.
I don't know if Zach could sit through a whole D&D session, but Aki would.
Aki could. Aki's very good.
Sorry, please go ahead,
I will
David. I'm
totally
sorry.
play them both. Playing one character with two heads.
I love it.
one character with two heads?
Ralph, I have a follow-up question on that, which is, are you going to have us actually play like original advanced D&D?
Oh, if it comes down to that, then we're screwed because I know like 1.5 editions of D&D.
So what is the follow-up question, Dave?
The follow-up question is, how do you spell Jenniferica's name?
All right, wait. I have to write it down.
I love
I'm
that.
also curious.
It would be, it'd be Jennifrika.
Okay.
Yeah? Wait.
Now everyone at home knows what to write in their notebook. It's good.
It would be Jenniferica.
I like it.
Jenniferica.
All right.
I had to erase my butt and penis for that.
Okay, so the next question's for you.
Oh, okay.
One of the greatest relationships in the game right now is that of Maddie and Otis. As you have a real-world sibling, are there any correlations between the relationship between Maddie and Otis and the relationship between yourself and your real-life sibling?
I think that
That's
Joey
good.
just got super offended by that question.
No. 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 No offense here.
You can freeze the frame and see exactly the moment where his heart breaks.
I looked over and I just see Joey look like he's about to throw something on the ground.
The Valentine you made him.
Yes, because my younger sibling is also very annoying, and they take pride in that. So I can say that, and they don't listen to this, but if they did, they'd be like, "No, yeah, I am," because my dad and my sibling took great pride in being very obnoxious and annoying me my entire childhood. So yeah, there's definitely a little bit of like how I had to learn to deal with that in Maddie. But at least Maddie only has an annoying younger sibling and not also a dad who's constantly trying to embarrass her.
Listen, I'm continuing season 2.
You just
Otis is perfect.
He is.
Raider begs to differ.
He's our
All
perfect
right,
little
Raider,
boy.
we're going to move to you now. Are you ready, Joey?
Sure. After that heartbreak.
Light.
How does it feel to be the Ringo to Charlie's Pete? Best in Vermithrax pejorative.
Oh.
That is
That was a
question that was
Wait,
that was a
Pete
weird way to
Best?
punctuate that, Christopher Walken.
How does it feel to be the Ringo to Charlie's Pete? Oh, Pete Best. Sorry.
Isn't that one of your questions?
No, it wasn't one of my questions.
Oh.
Best.
man.
I mean, I don't know how to answer that question. Good for me. Good for Ray. Sucks to be Charlie, I guess.
All right.
Oh, my feelings.
This is going gangbusters, y'all.
This is good. Fantastic.
All right, Harold.
Yeah, okay.
What is something
against it.
interesting that happened to Eisley when he was living in New York that we don't know about?
What is something that happened to Eisley when he was living in New York that we don't know about?
Yes.
Okay. So we've talked about his mom dying a bunch. We've talked about we kind of alluded to the fact that Eisley had some form of sexual encounter or pre-sexual encounter with some dude in the Bowery, which was set up by Sean Jaffe. It's like, oh, you do remember? We're a little bit
did?
gay. There's a comment, yeah, because it was a little thing between Stuz and Charlie where now I'm saying Charlie, it's messing me up with Thunder Lizard. So there was a moment with Eisley and Stuz where Eisley goes, yeah, but we're a little bit gay, and Stuz goes, oh, you do remember that? Okay, let's avoid that. And that just kind of like gets just completely railroaded through.
Holy crap! Like, I thought that meant like one guy like touched another guy's hand when they were like reaching at the same glass. You got him in like the
going the other way
bathroom of
around. I'm taking
CBGB's getting intimate.
I'm taking it. I'm thinking about the time, like the time frame of it is Charlie's a little kid from the Bowery who's trying to be this punk dude, and it's like early 1980s. So very much, I'm going to say something else. He probably has a little bit more of a relationship or has met someone else. I'd argue that is important not to this game, but would be important in the grand scheme of things for Rememorex. Which I kind of figured putting timetables together that like there's maybe a tiny Asian chick somewhere in New York City who has definitely met and dealt with Charles Chucky O'Keefe at one point in time.
Oh, that's true. They probably would have run into each
It's
other.
literally like the same groups of people that they're hanging out with, the same everything. It just made sense. And they're
Punched you in the face outside of CBGB's one time.
they're relatively
It was
the same
pretty
age
awesome.
too. It seems like a logical thing. So I guess
All right,
that
Ralph,
That's me.
if you, Ralph Adanasia, at the same age of Lyle Frankenstein, accidentally knocked over a Roy Rogers and got off scot-free, how would you have spent the money?
How old is Lyle? He's a year younger than everyone else, right? He's 12.
Yeah, I think he's 13. Well, he's
13 now. Let's see. That would have put it 1996, 1997. That was a weird time because that was when I decided I was too old for action figures, but before I started buying them again a year later.
I also remember that awkward time.
Right? That 2 years where you're like, toys are for kids. I'm not buying that. And then
I'm like, what do I got to do then? Where does serotonin come from for regular people?
You know
I
what
don't
ruined all
understand
of that too? It was the American Godzilla that ruined it. One of my neighbors thought it would be cool to like buy me the like sound making big rubber Godzilla puppet that they made for that movie.
Yeah, that thing was cool.
And I was like, this is awesome. I love this. Wait, why don't I just buy more toys for the rest of my life?
Yep.
So I don't know. 95, 96, probably fireworks. Like just an obscene amount of fireworks.
Yeah.
I never had fireworks as a kid. Like I grew up in New York City, and like you weren't allowed to have fireworks, and like we weren't close enough to Pennsylvania or whatever. Like I didn't have a way to get there. So, but like any of the bad kids in my neighborhood had fireworks, and I was like, man, I want to blow some up. I don't ever get to have fireworks. So yeah, that would have been. What a boring, stupid answer. A horse with lasers for eyes.
Lasers for eyes. That's what everyone will get you for your present.
I'm picturing Ralph like walking, like marching into like a LASIK. And it's like, I want the LASIK. That's laser eyes, right? Giving them all the money.
All right, we're back to the top.
Worst answer I've ever given.
It's a common misconception.
Sean Jaffe.
That's me.
An element in most of your Rememorex games has been the school assembly. Do you remember any dire school assemblies from your own childhood and any stories from your past that may have given inspiration to some of these scenes?
You know what? No. I think that's why they get so dire. I remember them always being fairly boring as a kid. I mean, like just in terms of like I was just psyched to not be in class. So like anything that happened beyond that was not, it really didn't tick on my register beyond like, hey, I'm really, really excited and happy to not be learning anything right now. And that was all I needed to be having a good day.
Thank you.
But in terms of like something like, I definitely remember there was one that had like it was so if, you know, growing up in the New York, New Jersey area, they had the commercial that like serious, that thing. You should have a healthy fitness.
What?
That you know? Okay, this was an '80s thing. It was a anti-drug commercial with a bunch of little pills. And I remember the actual puppets of those little pills. And they were like these little pills with little googly eyes. And then they put them against like a black backdrop so you couldn't see the puppet people. You just saw the little pills. And they'd go, this is serious. You should have a healthy fear of us. Too much of us is dangerous. And then Busta Rhymes used that in a rap song, and it was fucking great. But like I remember actually like the puppet guys came out and did that puppet show for us, and we were all like, well, we'll never do drugs again. And I remember that being like a big thing in the 80s, like the whole like just say no thing even as a very small child, seemed to me to be so cynically corny that it was like, I think they really want us to do a lot of drugs. And then that one, I remember watching and just being psyched that I'm like, I'm missing math class for puppets. I'm fucking in. Like, I was really excited about that. And it just kept getting weirder. And like, I was there for a very long time, and I remember kind of falling asleep and dreaming about the puppets, but then nothing weird happened. So like, yeah, in the game, it's like, okay, you've got everybody in one place. This seems like a good time to do weird shit. And since I have no recollection of weird shit happening here, it seems more of an opportunity to me to like mess with what I assume to be an established pattern of this just being a boring event and throwing a curveball at it.
Cool.
Okay.
And you got to hear me say I can keep it. So lucky you.
Gia, has Donna's motivation changed since the beginning of the first season?
I think so. I think Donna was originally going to really try to fit in with and be that sort of second tier popular girl. But, you know, you can't go back after stabbing a guy.
Nope.
I feel like the lesson there was that only increased your social cachet. Like you stab a guy and people listen where they didn't before.
This is true, but
I guess Donna wouldn't recognize that.
yeah, Donna wouldn't recognize that. She's too there's too much of an immediacy of I've done something bad to want to cash in on any of that. Like she wouldn't. She's never been one. She thinks that you get popular and have a lot of friends by like, you know, hard work and determination, not like how you actually become one of those popular girls, which is backstabbing and front stabbing. So yeah, that wouldn't be on her radar to recognize that like, oh, like I could be cool now because I stabbed this guy. It was just fear and then, you know, learning to believe in herself. So yeah.
Stabbing is the gateway drug to popularity.
It can be to the wrong person, but you know.
That was the lesson I was trying to convey.
Yeah. But
maybe if you had puppets, that would have helped.
Maybe she, yeah.
Just a bunch of little knives with googly eyes saying you should have a healthy fear of us.
That's a teacher.
That must be an 80s thing because nobody else seems to remember it. You're all 90s kids.
That instantaneously made me wonder what drugs to take to make that be able to be seen normally.
LSD.
Oh, that's
the world may never know. Casey, there are a lot of strange bugs in the Ramis household. What is the strangest bug-related incident that Maddie can recall?
There was this time that I don't know. Does it get stranger than the like genetically altered crickets in the first season? Like I can't imagine.
Oh, we got crickets.
What could possibly be stranger than like seeing zebra striped crickets in your house constantly? I guess like maybe like one time. I know. One time Otis was able to get their dad to buy him like a hissing cockroach.
Oh, yeah.
And at the reptile expo, because for some reason I think they have those, and it got loose and it got under Maddie's bed and she was trying to sleep and there was just like all night.
Oh God.
Those things are cool, by the way. I've held them. They're friggin' dope.
All right, Joey, we're back to you.
Great.
So, kind of wanted to find out what goes into making all of those intro and outro sound effects that you do for each episode of the podcast.
What goes into them?
Yeah.
Well, the intro, I'm guessing they mean maybe the VHS stuff and the Casey intro. So the intro and outro just, you know, it's just Foley of a VHS player, taking the tape going in and ejecting. And then with Casey, I know I got later on during the season, I kind of got a little bit crazier with it. But with Casey, that's just a filter that's in Adobe Audition. It's just like a walkie-talkie filter. I thought it was cool, and it kind of just stuck around. Everybody seemed to like it, so I left that in there. And then as things went on, I kind of just played with the speed of a lot of Casey's narration and some other underlying audio. There's like little things in there that I kind of Easter eggs for people occasionally. But a lot of it was just manipulating sort of the speed of a lot of those little tracks and kind of flipping them around and modulating them a little bit. I was just throwing a lot of effects at it pretty much and seeing, if anything cool came out of it.
I also like the whole. I like the whole concept of you brought in at the end of everything the kind of a weird intro soundtrack for us almost, which goes through what's Sean doing? Which goes through it goes through all of our own little like intros, all of the little theme songs we've had to numerous Rememorex games and to the ones that are the alpha game. So we went through, I think it was the last episode where we went through all of them, and then we started the epilogue. And I thought that is just a great way of starting every single episode, because it hits all of the markers, I guess. And it's just for us, kind of.
A little teaser for season 2 in that one.
Yep, there is.
I go back and re-listen to it.
Oh, you didn't hear that? It's great. Like at the beginning, you get the doom, 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 and also like all of the other things that Joey's been a part of so far. It's real cool.
I just wanted to personally call out those intros and outros because I think that they are a fantastic thematic thing for listeners to the show to really get into the show at the beginning. And you're doing amazing things for the experience of the listener. So I wanted to give a moment to give you some applause on that.
Thank you. And it's only going to get better. So stay tuned.
We're so grateful to have Joey.
Joey's the best.
Joey is the greatest.
I'm a big fan. I've said before what a pedophile I am, and I stand by that. Big fan of Joey Pedras.
Oh God, Pedrophile.
Aaron, this next question, there's a couple different that sort of circle around the same point. What can you tell us about the origin of Eisley's accent? What's the evolution of it? And do you think he still needs it as a coping mechanism at this point in the show?
That's a good question.
That is. That's a really good combination of questions. I think that the reason why he had the accent in the first place, obviously to set himself apart, but I think that he didn't want to be made fun of for how he actually sounded. I think he was very afraid of being made fun of for sounding like a New Yorker, and that would have been a big problem to him walking into a new place and sounding like he was obviously not from the place that he's supposed to be from. So walking in with the last name of it, with his name being Charlie O'Keefe, and just going on the full, this is the most Irish thing I think about him. Like he thinks like I'm the most Irish person, so I can just do an Irish accent, and that'll at least make me a little bit special. And if I'm getting made fun of, I'm not getting made fun of for like who I actually am. I'm just being made fun of for the stupid Irish accent that I'm putting on, and I can deal with that. And that's kind of where that came from. I think that like it progressed as I got better at an Irish accent throughout the series, or also as I got sick and then wasn't sick, and somehow that affected how my Irish accent went. It kind of like it became harder and harder to go through it. And then when the reveal of the actual way that he sounds came out, I don't know if he needs it anymore. I think that he does it for fun at this point. He's still kind of got like he's not obviously Tiff Shiv, who knows how he actually sounds, but he's still probably thinking like Talia still likes me for my old accent, so I'm a little bit worried about whether or not this like tall runner chick is gonna like me tomorrow. I know my friends will like me no matter how I sound, but it might change other people's opinions on me. And now I'm just afraid of looking like a poser. So it's a whole spiral of how those accents came to be. And I will probably never get to use what Sean Jaffe has told me is my best accent, which is my pointless Connecticut accent that I came up with for one of Casey's random games. And then I will never use it ever again. So that's all.
I feel like you're teasing us with something. You have to display it.
I might
kind of have to do it.
I might. How about?
You're on the spot now.
All right. Well, yes, hey, it all depends on how things work out as you go. In the event that you would really like me to do this, I can do it for a little bit, but montage off, I can keep it going. So that is the Connecticut-based accent, which in the event that there's, another game that comes about, which we might, use for a podcast, I might use this accent for a prolonged period of time.
Can you just say
sort of
Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, it's very Mid-Atlantic.
What did Sean just say?
I want you to say Dateline, Chicago, chaos in the streets.
Dateline, Chicago, chaos in the streets.
Yeah, there it is. I love it.
I think that's called a transatlantic accent, right?
Mid-Atlantic.
That's called a whatever accent we need to be.
All right, Ralph, this may be the greatest question on my list of questions.
Oh.
All good paranormal investigators have a signature sandwich. What is in the Lyle?
Oh my God. I was not prepared for any of these questions today. I was like, I was in a certain place in my head, or like, I have a pretty good idea of what kind of stuff we're going to talk about. Like, what's going on with Lyle? Sandwich, my God.
So we bring you here.
Right now, so there's this thing that has happened many times in my life when like there's a character I love in something, and then I watch an interview with the person who plays them, and like they get all these great questions that like anyone else would knock out of the park, and I'm sitting there watching, going like, "Oh, you're an idiot. I liked you, but you suck." I think a Lyle Frankenstein is something in the Reuben family. But it's definitely full of rippled potato chips.
Yeah.
And there's got to be some weird outlier in there, because he's a very particular kind of kid who
like it's pickle chips, but a specific type of pickle chip?
No, rippled chips. It might be rippled chips and pickle chips in a Reuben.
Ooh, that's good.
A 5-chip sandwich.
And then like one weird thing that's like chocolate or sardines.
I was thinking anchovy paste for you. Like anchovy paste on the Reuben sounds just weird enough.
Swedish.
I'll go with it. I'm not I eat almost anything. I've actually made it a point to like all the foods that I don't like. But anchovies, I haven't gotten there yet.
They're tough. Billy Crystal had a whole bit about how it's like eating an eyebrow, and I can't get that out of my head.
Oh, all right. No, it's a Reuben with rippled potato chips and Vegemite.
Oh.
Just pure
That's
salt.
a Lyle Frankenstein.
I would eat the fuck out of that sandwich.
The Vegemite is the cryptid of foodstuffs.
It is.
That's
true.
Made of real expedile. All right, we've been doing some questions for about 30 minutes, so I'm going to switch to some questions that are for everyone. So we're looking for answers from everyone. And some of these are a little quicker. So let's start with, what is the coolest thing that you ever bought with tickets from an arcade?
Ooh.
A George Foreman grill.
Wow, really?
What? Seriously?
Yes.
Jesus.
How many tickets was that?
One of those little ones. It was like 20,000 or something.
It's a lot of tickets.
The concept of 20,000 tickets is blowing my mind. My pedophilia is raging right now.
We'll wait for the signs.
I feel like this is a time to explain the Pretty Pony and the Vuvuzela of Shame, both of which were purchased with tickets from an arcade. But a bunch of my friends...
I'm getting my scotch. I'll be right back.
Oh,
While Sean answers, I'm going to show you the best thing I ever got from tickets from an arcade.
Oh, yeah. So we did this thing, a bunch of my friends about 10 years ago did this thing where we went to an arcade and then we pooled all of our tickets and bought the stupidest thing we could get, which was like, the first thing was it was like a model pirate ship that became known as the Pretty Pony. And we like draped it in like all of these like Mardi Gras beads for some reason. And then we did this thing where like one person would have it in their house and then we'd get together for like game night or party or whatever, and somebody would steal it. And so it became this thing of like secretly stealing the Pretty Pony and moving it from place to place. And we went back to the arcade like a year later, and a group of us were like, okay, we need to make the opposite of that. And that was the year that Vuvuzelas were a thing. Remember those? They're really annoying.
Oh, yeah, during that World Cup in South Africa.
So we got one of those, and it was something where rather than stealing it from people's houses, you'd sneak it into somebody's house, which is difficult because it was like a 4-foot-long hunk of bright yellow plastic. You had to be really good to sneak that into somebody's house, and then they'd find it and they'd be like, and then they had to like sneak it into the next person's house. It was a whole thing.
All right. So I'm going to tell this story. Sean Jaffe's going to have to help me with this story.
All right.
So the greatest thing that I've ever won at an arcade with arcade tickets is this monstrosity.
Oh.
It's a sort of Monchichi kind of weird little...
When I tell
you, weird stuffed monkey.
This feels like...
If you can't see this at home, imagine the most cursed toy monkey.
And I have 2 of them. I have one right here.
And the place we got them from is incredibly cursed.
When I tell you that this is definitely real animal fur, and holding this thing, it feels like it's made out of bones. It's nightmarish, and I love it.
I'm 1,000% convinced that thing was in a warehouse for 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
Ralph, you have a question.
It looks like it is the actual offspring of 2 of the banana splits.
Yes.
Not wrong.
So, we're on the Wildwood Boardwalk, and we see a big sign that says arcade, and like it looks like very shallow, and that there's like a couple of old arcade cabinets in the front. And we walk in, and there's like a secret room in the back, and we're convinced
a bunch of like photocopied signs that say not to take pictures.
Yes,
that was a big part of it.
Do not take pictures. But like we walked into the back, and we're convinced that if we ever go back to the Wildwood Boardwalk, if ever anything opens and we go back there, it's not going to be there, and then it's all going to be our like. It's going to disappear like it's an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like, so we go into this back room, and there's all of these tables that have this weird. How do you want to describe it? It's like a skee ball bingo kind of game. It's called Fascination. And what it is, a slanted wooden table with holes in it, and certain holes are painted, and you roll a ball, and you're trying to get it in the hole to light up a certain pattern of lights.
Yeah, it's like bingo.
Everybody, and there's like 4 rows of 8 of these tables, and it's full, and people are going wild, like rolling these balls, and it just keeps going. It's like you put your money down, they give you the thing, you start playing it.
Yeah, there's no automation to it either.
Yeah, like it's just a guy with like a headset and another guy running around, and it's crazy. And we're like, what is happening here? And
apparently it was a big
like,
arcade game in the 20s.
Yeah, like we like looked up the whole history of it. So then I see these monkeys on this wall, because there were like a couple of other cheap, crappy toys, but then there was a monkey, and I was like, I'm getting that fucking monkey. So we sit down and we start playing, and it was like super addictive, and we just played for a while, and like I eventually won these fucking monkeys. And like the other crazy thing about this place was there was like a shelf up around the top, and on the shelf were rotting, and I mean rotting, pieces of the old boardwalk dark rides. So
yeah.
Castle, all of these old pieces of like rotting paper mache monsters.
Dracula's Castle was a legendary attraction on the Wildwood Boardwalk, like in the 70s, and it had like 3 major fires. So I'm not kidding. I believe this place was haunted as fuck. And all of these like old attractions that were very clearly from Dracula's Castle. I mean, Dracula's Castle gave me nightmares when I was a little kid. Just walking past it, you know, it had like hanging skeletons. It had so many skeletons, Ralph. So many skeletons. It was terrifying. And all of this stuff in there, just nightmarish, like weird old 70s haunted house attractions that did not stand the test of time well. So like the additional decay just made them look all the more authentic and horrifying. And it was just sort of sequestered away around this weird arcade full of like old pinball machines. It's just essentially the arcade that time forgot. And I am sure if we were to go back to the boardwalk, it will not be there like Brigadoon. It's gone.
Yeah, there'll just be a monkey paw or something.
Yeah,
just that. One of those monkeys just sitting.
Oh my god,
Joey, I think we need to go and do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think those monkeys are people that tried and failed to find it?
I think those monkeys are the people who like died playing fascination.
I submit that the monkeys are Gia and I dead from the future.
Well, we didn't die there.
That's nice.
Right? That's kind of romantic.
I have I still
in
have
a Twilight Zone kind of way.
This was like because you would sit down and you would win these tickets.
Oh wow.
And so we had like a stack of these, and 10 of these, once you won 10, you got a monkey. And we had extras, so I was like, I'm keeping that. That is a fucking cursed item.
We're going down this summer.
You roll the ball, you get it in the colored hole. 10 tickets, you win a monkey.
10 monkeys and you win a trip to the underworld.
Yeah, exactly.
I think 10 monkeys and you get a child's soul based on those monkeys.
My best, it's not a good prize that I got, but like the one I remember being the most excited about was like my 21st birthday was at Dave & Buster's. And I got real drunk real fast because all my friends were a lot older than me, and they all just bought me a shit ton of alcohol like immediately. And I just got real obsessed. Like there was like this, it was the ugliest thing in the world. It was a red Solo cup super glued onto like a plastic pedestal. And I was like, that's it. That's the chalice. So I said,
sounds familiar. Was I there for this?
I don't think you were, but you might have been. I don't really remember my 21st birthday too well. I was very drunk the entire time. The only things I remember were trying real hard to win the chalice and getting everyone who came for my birthday to give me their tickets so I could get it, because it was a lot of tickets.
Ralph and Harold, any arcade stories to add?
I mean, no. Not after all those. I'm like, yeah, man, yeah, no. I got enough tickets for a Blastoids Pokemon card in like 1997. Like that.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh my
that's
god,
pretty
you sweet North child.
Time, but like, you know.
Yeah, I don't have any good like. I have a lot of very vivid, very sentimental memories about all of the pointless plastic crap and stuffed animals that I've won at like arcades and games and stuff, but none of the stories are interesting. They're just nostalgic. But I do, in my chaotic neutral 20s, I think this counts as like a arcade prize. I too went to a Dave & Buster's with some people who are mutually known to some of us back in the day, and I had no money. I was scum. And, you know, and my friend who was having the party was rich. He was living off a trust fund, and his friends all, you know, had money, and we were like, all right, no, we'll go. And so me and my scumbag friend are trying to survive in Dave and Buster's on like $9.50 each, and I got one drink. And as I'm wandering around the place, what I noticed is that like everyone walks up to a game and they put their full drink on a table behind them and ignore it as they play an arcade game. And so I wandered through the place and just picked up people's drinks, poured them into my cup, and put them back empty and walked on for the entire because I got destroyed. I'm really happy that I'm not the person I was in my 20s anymore.
Yep.
Sean, you had another arcade story?
Oh yeah, it's quick. But I would be just like my brother would punish me in Fire and Blood if I didn't mention the Hollywood Arcade in Wildwood, New Jersey. And we went to this arcade that was, to this day, I think possibly one of the greatest places I've ever been in my entire life. It used to be right next to the old Castle Dracula. I'm guessing maybe 84, 85, 86 at the absolute latest. It got turned into to give you an idea of how long ago this was, it got turned into a photon arena, which I don't think any of you know what that is. And then that closed. And I remember seeing an abandoned photon arena. It used to be like a laser tag place. But prior to that, in like the early 80s, there was this arcade that we went into one night, and it was the greatest place I'd ever been. They did this thing where they piped the screens on. There was like a balcony on the second floor and like a ring of giant TVs facing down. So at any point, you could look up at one of these TVs and see the game you were playing. And it was mind-blowing. And we spent, I think, what had to have been maybe an hour in there, but it felt like 6 hours because I was a little kid and I was having such a good time that, like, I just had to, like, do all this stuff at once. And then at the end of the day, I remember winning this little parrot. It was like a little stuffed parrot because, you know, jungle stuff, arcades. I don't know. And I have no idea what became of that parrot, but like that place is why the Centauri exists. The Centauri is my attempt to recreate a fraction of the magic of that arcade. And I had to dial it back because someplace as cool as the real thing that I remember would be too over the top for this game. So I had to sort of make it kind of a believable arcade.
Okay. Next question.
Wait, I have an interruption.
In everyone's opinion, I want to find out what you believe the best tracking error from season 1 was, or at least the most memorable.
Well, joke's on you because I have a shit memory, so I don't remember anything.
Yeah, I don't remember any of them.
What's sad is that usually I'm the person that remembers things like this. And I have a bad time remembering tracking errors from season 1. I feel like what's the best like all the best things about season 1 were like hilarious fails.
I was gonna say Joey shit in his pants, but that wasn't a tracking error.
Yeah, real life. It was just a really bad dice roll.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, no, okay.
Tracking error of my pants.
Does Kay know this work?
Oh, King Otis works. I was going to say
Yeah,
Oh, that was lovely.
But yeah, Kay know this.
somebody tracking errored my dad into the scene where Joey shit his pants.
Oh, that was pretty awesome. I don't know. I think I remember. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Sean. Go.
I think I remember the tracking error being the reason that Notcher Kincaid's car stopped and that the Thin Man caught up with you. I could be wrong about that. But I remember, like, you guys were with Minty and Gutter Boy.
Tracking error that it was almost out of gas.
Something like that, yeah.
Ralph.
This is going to be really tacky for me to call out because it was my own tracking error, but deciding that Raider's dad was going to give him the talk in the truck on the way to school.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, that's it.
That was magnificent.
I say Captain Pen all the time now.
Yeah.
That might be my vote too. That's a good one.
You're a man. You're a man too, Dad. We're both men. All right, get out.
I think that was the best one because I distinctly remember dying in the middle of that scene.
Yeah.
That was pretty solid.
I don't remember.
Driving is like, all right, I'm gonna.
I don't remember what was caused by a tracking error and not. But no, yeah, fucking
No, that definitely
was
wins.
amazing.
We had some really
She'll be
good
like,
ones.
all right, in the 5 minutes between the house and school. All right, here we go.
He kept trying to
and Raider being like, "You're doing great, Dad. This is really good."
Good job. Is this a Vietnam cap? Is that what this is?
Yeah, the old.
Maybe not use that one. That one's too old.
Capping your pen.
I say that all the time now.
Wait,
When-
did someone tracking error? I feel like did Casey's family's? I'm sorry, did Maddie's family's like divorce and problematic nonsense come from a tracking error?
I don't think so. I think that
All
Sean
right.
Jaffe just planned
Though,
that.
did we tracking error who your mom was cheating with?
That
No, I think we all just assumed that it was somebody and it wasn't. It would have been so great if it was Professor Newton, though. Can you imagine?
Oh God.
I'm still shipping Mr. Ramus and Lyle's mom.
Yes.
It's not too late.
I want.
I don't want to
I
get
want
too
that.
into this because I feel like
It's
that's
just.
hilarious.
These are the times you are quiet, Sean.
I mean, they're both scientists. I imagine she looks good for her age.
Yeah, I think there's.
I also
potential.
imagine she's just Linda from Bob's Burgers. So
like
Linda
everyone
from
else
Bob's-
is a real person, but Lyle's mom is a cartoon.
Linda from Bob's Burgers and what's his name from Ghostbusters?
Egon.
Egon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always picture Lainey Kazan playing Lyle's mom. Who I think she could do. She has that Linda kind of quality to her. Ralph, you'll remember Lainey Kazan as the neighbor from Harry and the Hendersons.
I blacked out a lot of that movie.
Also, wasn't she the mom in
Oh
My
yeah,
Big
no,
Fat
it's
Greek Wedding?
perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's the mom in the Big
okay.
Fat Greek Wedding.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, she's perfect. She'd be fed, but like a younger, like her around my age now.
Yeah.
That'll work.
All right. So we hit on this a little bit before, but if you had to set your character as a D&D class, what would you set for your character? And Sean, choose an NPC and do the same for a character that you run.
Okay.
So
I'm
Joe,
staying since Janet Erica is very much Donna in
That's
the
fine.
D&D campaign.
we have an elven sorceress.
I always like going with the halfling, so I'm going to go halfling for Raider.
Okay. What about a class though?
Bard, halfling bard.
Halfling.
Favorite.
Are you saying Raider would just play Freud Rumpus?
Is that what's happening? Okay. So, but Joey's actual character in the game that the three of us are playing. I'm gonna go with the fact that I think it was set that like Eisley is in the D&D game with Donna. Like that's our original relationships.
Right, yeah.
So I think he's a human rogue, and I think that's it. I think that makes the most sense.
Casey.
Character.
Joey does
Okay.
not agree with me, but I'm just gonna let him be.
No, I'm rethinking my answer, but go ahead.
I don't know. Ralph, do you have an answer? I have to.
No, this is really tough because like I know what kind of character Lyle would play, but I don't know. The problem
He
is
also
Lyle
feels
really
kinda like Nomi. He would be a gnome, maybe.
Lyle really got away from me because I had a very clear idea of what he was going to be when I started. Like Lyle from season 1 and Lyle from the epilogue and season 2 are so different. You know, like originally he was supposed to be like real shy and awkward until things got weird, and then he'd get real serious.
And now he's just kind of like a fuck you.
I don't think he had an option.
Yeah, he got well out of my control right away. Like that character wanted to be something, and I
That's
was
a good
not.
thing.
Yeah, that's always the best when
Yeah.
it kind of blooms.
Yeah.
Man, he hates cops.
He like fell right in.
And I learned
That's weird.
Help yourselves to some mud and corn on the way out.
Lyle Frankenstein said a cab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know. What D&D class hates cops?
Rogue?
Warlock?
Yeah, rogue, I guess.
Rogue.
Rogue.
No, I'm good. You know what? Lyle's a gnome warlock.
Yeah.
Studies
I like
the
that.
occult, hates cops, very small.
I don't know, and I play a lot of D&D, and I don't know. I guess like Maddie would probably want to make, and she'd probably play like a nerdy kind of character. Maybe like I feel like probably a wizard because they have to read a lot of books to learn magic. She probably.
She's an elven wizard.
I think she'd be a human. I don't think that I think that Maddie isn't quite that creative to be like. I think she'd probably be a human wizard.
Wait, are we talking about what they'd play or what they are?
Oh no, like I mean that's what she'd play. I think that if you put a D&D book in front of Maddie Ramus and we're like make a character, she'd be like, okay, what's the one that like knows the most things? Wizards.
I thought it was
Okay.
supposed to be what you are.
Yeah, I thought it's you're transporting Maddie into D&D. What does she become?
Oh, if I'm transporting Maddie into D&D.
Yeah, I think I have to change my answer.
I feel like it'd probably be the same thing. She'd still be. I think she'd be a wizard because she's super nerdy, and wizards are, I think, like the nerdiest D&D class. And I will stand by that. If anyone wants to come at me about that, I feel like I don't know. I feel like she'd probably be a human variant. Did they have human variants in AD&D, or is it just regular? It's just
Or
human.
They just have humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joey, you got to be like a leader thing.
Here we go with this leader thing again.
You're the leader.
You are our Fred.
He hates it
I
so
think he'd be like the
Sean, which
Ranger or
NPC do
something.
you want to give us?
I'm going to say Clyde Curtis is an orc.
Who is
barbarian.
that?
Clyde Curtis is the guy that Donna stabbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
He's the bully that Donna stabbed in the beginning, and he's an orc
I
barbarian.
remember that.
That makes sense. He has a lot of rage issues.
Yeah.
He has a lot of grabbing lady issues. He
So
has a
we
lot
gotta
of
stab
getting slashed in the chest issues.
And I think
Donna stabbed a guy, but Maddie did kill all the people in that van.
Yeah, she did. She murdered all the people in that van.
The whole family.
they were going to Disney World and
No, it
were
was a
going
van
the
full
wrong
of bad
way.
guys.
No.
they're bad guys.
Who was it that was like, well, we don't know if it's even real. We don't know if Maddie just like killed an entire family.
Yeah, like it was like maybe it was just a whole family.
Maddie just the knock comes on the door of the Ramus household. There's cops there. It turns out Maddie shot the tire out from under
But
a traveling band.
they don't know it was Maddie. They just think Notcher Kincaid killed multiple people.
Yeah,
Like-
like that guy.
Oh,
People had to murder whatever.
They're
Yeah,
like,
that's just a matter of time.
yeah.
He'll
But-
get there.
that's fair.
He'll get there one way or another.
So guys, we are at about the 1 hour mark with the 5 minutes or so that we took at the beginning. I have lots of additional questions. How far?
Lightning
do you want to
round.
go into these?
I like the idea of a lightning.
Lightning round.
Lightning round.
30-second answers.
30-second answers. We're going back to individual questions.
Oh
All
god,
right.
this is very stressful.
You got to give points, though. Lightning round.
It is the lightning round. Points will be given.
Lightning round.
Lightning
Game
round.
face, lightning round. Joey, put in that lightning round jingle.
Sean Duffy.
Me.
have a jingle.
This is the lightning round. I would like you to talk as Berkeley Davidson in the next 30 seconds.
Wait, what?
Talk as
Talk
Berkeley
as
Davidson
Berkeley
for the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, I cannot hear what you guys are saying because you're all talking at once. As who?
Berkeley Davidson.
Oh, what about what? I need a topic.
Comfortable
MTV.
shoes.
Okay, so I have these shoes. They're pretty comfortable. And they're comfortable because I put, like I was eating a sandwich the other day and I was like, this feels good in my mouth, So I was like, maybe I put a sandwich in my shoes. So it turns out I can walk around a lot and I don't make any noise. So, I use them for hunting now. And then, I find some venison. I can make a new sandwich. And then I got like a second sandwich. I put it in my new shoes. And, the cycle just keeps repeating itself and it becomes sort of an internal philosophy for me. So that's how I understand the universe. Anyway, that's why I don't need to go to church this morning. Goodbye.
All right, you were a little short of 30 seconds, so I'm only going to give you 100 points.
Okay, I'll take it.
Who's writing down our points? I got a stopwatch.
I'm writing them. I'm writing down the points. So Sean has 100 points.
I have 100. I feel like that's a lot.
Wait, is the goal to get it to 30 seconds or under 30 seconds?
It's just that's how long you have.
I think I was supposed to get the entire time.
Once you hit 30 seconds, I'm gonna make it sound like this.
Oh God!
All right,
I'd rather you didn't.
And that'll be the cue for Gia to do a sound effect.
That's actually one of the questions here, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that. So,
You
Gia,
gotta do it. Do it now.
What?
from this point, where do you see Donna in 20 years? 30 seconds are on the clock.
Oh my
And go.
God! Donna is gonna have. Donna has two paths. She's either going to get her big break in cereal commercials, do commercials for about 5 or 6 years, settle down with a guy, have some kids, be a housewife, or she's gonna get a Broadway thing. She's going to do a lot of cocaine. Oh shit! And then,
Ended on a real dark note there.
Broadway and do a lot of cocaine.
wow.
You can finish that up. I just want to. I don't think it matters if it's actually 30 seconds.
No, that's fine.
Listen,
That's the
I'm
last
only going to award you 50 points until she didn't go. And now 200 points.
So it's
Just for cocaine.
250 points.
That's a lot.
All right, Casey,
Okay.
do you find playing Maddie Ramis easier or harder than the other characters you play on your other podcasts? 30 seconds are on the clock.
Ooh, good one.
Okay, this is a really hard question. She's easier to get into than Zoltana is, and and I don't know, about the same. They're not they're all very different characters, so it's not easier or harder to be any of them. And I'm 20 seconds.
You're under, but you failed to reference cocaine, so I'm only going to award you.
That's fair. She's easier.
learning the
She's
rules
easier
here,
than
guys.
Zoltana because Zoltana, I have to make loud beeping noises for 20 minutes to do that voice.
Joey Pedras,
Yes,
hero to us all.
apparently.
Who are Raiders' heroes, and who is he afraid of? 30 seconds on the clock.
Heroes probably David Byrne and maybe some other guy, and then he's scared of Maddie's dad.
And maybe some other guy.
Good.
I couldn't think of it.
Seconds. I also really like that reference to the other guy.
Yeah, the other guy's
100
good.
points.
I'm on board with the other guy. I like him.
Crack under pressure.
All right, Harold. Opinions on Return of the Jedi, and do you think there will ever be any more Star Wars, like some sort of prequels showing us the Clone Wars? 30 seconds are on the clock.
Wait, is this for Eisley or for Harold? Oh my!
Surprisingly.
Okay, good. That's why I was.
I think it's better as a question for Harold.
No,
This is a mess already.
for opinions on Return of the Jedi's. So here's what I think. I think that there's a really good idea that went on with having a bunch of cannibal creatures that just eat humans, and that's delicious stormtrooper meat. But I don't like how they ended the entire series. So I want to say maybe a prequel of how Vader became Vader would be a good idea, but also I think they probably shouldn't invest in any weird racing mechanics. That was it.
I gave you 5 extra
foresight.
seconds because everybody was like talking over the beginning of your time.
That was fair on your part, Casey. I'm going to award another 100 points on that for staying in character and actually getting into character voice a little bit.
All right.
That's good.
All right. Ralph.
That's me.
As Lyle, can you give people a little more information on that French werewolf that you dressed up as for Halloween? 30 seconds are on the clock.
Man, I don't even remember his name anymore. I was trying to remember it this morning too because someone was talking about Terraire. Fuck you, pig.
Gier do something. I don't know.
I thought it was Guy Doral.
Yeah, something like that.
Gilles Garnier or something.
Yeah.
Garnier Fructis. The fruit-infused hair conditioning werewolf of France. I want to do over on all my questions.
He works with Body Wash Dracula.
But Ralph, you're so delightful.
It brought a lot of joy to the room, so I am going to award 50 points for the joy that you're
I accept it. I'm gonna donate my points to Gia to bring her closer to Joey's score. And we're gonna pool, and we're all gonna get a George Foreman grill with our combined points at the end of the lightning round.
Oh man, we come over hot
You
dogs.
just stole my joke for all the points.
Gotta get up pretty early to get a joke out before I'll steal it.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. I'm no good.
Got more questions? Got more lightning
I
round
have
questions?
tons of questions on
Just
these.
keep
Go,
going.
go, go.
More round-
Go,
more
keep
lightning
going.
round.
It's
Okay.
lightning round for you too.
This is the lightning round. We're going back to Sean Jaffe.
Okay. I've made a terrible mistake.
Sean, you ever notice that every Ant-Man action figure is life-sized?
Yeah, I was just playing with this.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sean,
Hit me.
will we finally get to know what is on or under Wallace Island in season 2? Also, what happened to that book series they found earlier and seemed to predict the Thin Man? 30 seconds are on the clock.
Wow, that is not a 30-second question. What is
How much
on
you
or
have?
under Wallace Island is, I think, an underlying, pardon the pun, thing for the entire series. So they'll get more of it, but not all of it. As for the book series, that's another mystery that is going to be further revealed. But I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give away stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the best answer I can give.
I think you gave us decent answers considering how much has to be redacted. You're going to get 50 points for that.
All right.
Gia,
There might be a Daniel Steele.
for the next 30 seconds, please make as many sound effects as you can. We will identify the number of sound effects.
I
30 seconds. Start.
Sound effects.
You're on. You're on. Do it. Do it. Go. Go. Go.
Fart. A different fart.
Yeah.
A whale. Struggling motorboat.
Rusty
Dropping a handful of ball bearings into a big can of beans.
And then the classic, now that I've ruined my lipstick.
The kind of fart that sounds like a rotary phone.
I've had those.
I've
That's-
spit all over myself and I'm covered in lipstick. Thank you.
That was 4 discernible different parts and a rotary phone, earning you 250 points.
Nice.
Man, she is on top.
Casey,
He's going in the same order.
Is somebody else keeping track of these points because I stopped?
No, I
running.
thought we were expecting.
I'm keeping track. I'm keeping close track of the points.
these points matter. Whoever gets the most gets to read the credits in a style of my choosing.
And for Foreman Grill.
That's
And a-
all.
Foreman Grill.
That's all you ever wanted to be was Clive Owen.
All right.
What sort of science are you going to focus on in high school, Maddie Ramus? Physics, biology, or robotics? 30 seconds on the clock, starting now.
Can you like focus on a science in high school? I didn't even know that was a thing.
You totally can.
I always
was
figured
in-
if you were smart enough you could, but I was never that smart, so I was just assuming.
You
I
totally
thought I was in remedial science throughout high school, so I don't know. I guess if I could focus on a science, I think probably biology. I feel like she's getting really into that, and that or robotics. I think would be
Cyborgs.
Well, I mean, getting
We
into
could have-
biology, and you are out of time, but getting into biology will really help you get closer to your new dad. So that'll be good.
he's not my dad. God.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Angry.
Wait, did we already know who? Don't we find out who my mom was cheating with, and it wasn't him?
It was Jeff
Was it someone
Baker.
named Pete?
Yeah, Peter Chandler.
Who's who?
It was Peter Chandler.
Who's that?
Raider Hansen.
Oh yes.
Just blowing past that.
It was here that to the other kids in Clearfield, you are the leader of the group. What are the Raiders' thoughts on this? 30 seconds on the clock.
Not the leader. Doing my own thing. If that makes me seem like the leader, that's your problem. I'm just hanging out.
something that's totally
And I'm building stuff. I don't know. What of it? Punk?
That was beautiful. He got right in there. That was magnificent.
He got
Like a
so
Ben
mad
Stiller
at like the
character in
beginning
a-
of that quest.
Like,
It's
like
like
a Ben
I'm
Stiller
reading
character in
questions
a
off
what's
of
his face?
paper,
Wes Anderson
like-
movie.
But he's
Yes.
mad at me.
I love that because there was just Joey gets into Raider like that. Like
Yeah, that was majestic.
He's very touchy about certain subjects.
being a leader is one.
He doesn't like the responsibility. He doesn't want any.
listen, you are our Leonardo, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yes,
40,000 points.
40,000. There we go.
No one's
got
ever
that
going to beat
Foreman
Joey.
Grill.
That was a little joke for me and Ralph. Thank you, Ralph.
What?
I was.
Well,
I didn't.
go
I
on, Ralph.
intended it to be a.
Oh, hold on, Dave. I think you're good. Go ahead.
All right. What's Eisley's favorite band, and has he seen them live? 30 seconds on the clock.
Dead Kennedys, and yes.
That was answered extremely quickly.
Yeah.
1 million points.
You're back in the running.
Lightning round.
Ralph,
That's me, baby.
for a possible 60 billion points.
Wow, that's a lot.
Oh,
Prior to the Halloween party, what was Lyle's greatest paranormal discovery? 30 seconds on the clock.
I think he definitely found some sticks that were bent in a way that suggested that a Sasquatch might have been around. He used to live in Puyallup, Washington, which is that's Sasquatch country.
Yeah.
Yep.
So his discovery was sticks.
He got a camera to take a picture of the sticks and drew a diagram of them.
Well, for that diagram, I award you 60 billion points.
That's a lot of points.
lot of
We got
points.
a lot
And yet not enough.
Asia, the winner, as my phone is now dying.
All right, Casey, close us out.
I'd like to thank. Can I? Okay, wait. Can I do my favorite question before we go out?
Yeah.
Because
Please.
there was a question. There was a question that my friend Andy, I believe, asked that I just really liked, which was, who is the best NPC and why is it Otis Ramus?
I disagree for Zach McLunt, and that's it.
No. Otis is.
Oh, this is tops, but
I have a real love for Aki.
Aki Ackerman?
Yeah, Aki makes me really happy, but also the affection that Zach has for Aki and like the protective instincts he has for her.
They got a good
yeah.
It's really
Now, Sean, I actually want to talk to you. I kind of want to write up some of these NPCs into that player's companion that we're putting together.
Oh, that's a good idea. We should do that. Yeah.
I would love to put a Zach McClung, Kinanaki Ackerman, and even an Otis into that book.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
So what makes me extremely happy is I know how many questions are on that list because I compiled it, and there is enough that we could do a second Q&A at some point in the future.
Ooh.
And we won't have to make any more. And also because Dave made a really cool thing that was a relationship roll thing for questions where we'd like roll together and like have to answer a question about the other person.
Oh, I like that.
Ooh, I like that idea. So
Yeah.
let's
All
try
right.
another one in a time increment.
In the future.
Yeah, in a time increment.
So everybody look forward to a second Q&A from us at some point in the future. We're also planning on some other really cool things in the interim. Obviously, we're in the middle of a giant global pandemic, and as people that all live in the same general vicinity, we actually record in person, so we can't do that while there's a global pandemic kind of shutting everything down. We're trying to be safe and keep ourselves safe and everything. So
Everyone get tested. Everyone get tested. Just that's it.
Get tested. Wear your masks.
Yeah.
Get tested.
Stay 6 feet away from people. Stay off the beaches because they're closed because of shark attacks.
Yes.
And
Amity means friendship.
you don't want to be those people.
Oh God!
Ah,
You don't get your $1 because you didn't wear it when you were asking Ralph's questions.
Yeah, you're supposed to do that.
Anyway, we're all saying goodbye from us over here at Rememorex Not a Test. Stay safe and keep listening.
I like how nobody said goodbye. Everyone just waved.
Keep circulating the tape.
Goodbye.